Hello everybody and welcome back to the Line Ball Pool channel. My name is Max and today we are revisiting the Line Ball Level Up series to give you the award show. This is where we highlight the best play across the competition and really celebrate the tournament. Thank you so much for all those who played, took part, were involved. Thank you to Aoife for providing an amazing prize for our winning team. And if you haven't seen the series, you can go back and watch it on the channel. It's already all up, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers for the next few moments. But going forward, there will be spoilers all the way through this video, so make sure you check it out before you watch. And if this is your first time watching a Line Ball video, make sure you subscribe. We have new videos every single Tuesday at 6 PM UK time. So let's jump in to the awards. We'll be starting off with the tournament best player, and your nominees are Paul, Gemma, Chris, Harry, John, Kieran and Rohan. These are effectively the finalists and a handful of semi-finalist players as well who really stood out. And the winner for best tournament player was Paul Kidman. Cannot really say I am too surprised with this one. He revolutionized his team, really brought them through, and even though this was Paul's first tournament, I know he did so much practicing to get him and his partner for the day, Gemma, ready for the games. So he was a worthy winner. Also, big shout out to Harry Monday for a really good showing. This was his first ever Line Ball tournament and he had a really strong game. And thank you also to William France, who did the photography for the session. You're seeing some of his pictures throughout this video as well. Next, on to the biggest shock. There were a lot of upsets in this tournament. So we are going to go through the nominees first, and it was Total Rubbish semi-final exit, Lineade quick-fire defeats at the start where they lost a lot of their games really quickly, both finalists losing both their seeding games, the intense seed second place playoff, and also the team's choices of power plays, because even I was really surprised by what some of the teams went for. Now, the biggest shock, as voted for this tournament, was both finalists losing their seeding games. So if you remember from the tournament, we had an interesting structure where everyone played 2 games of Line Ball first, and then based on their results was how many power plays they got, what order they got to choose them in, and how hard their journey through the knockouts would be. And both of our finalists, both Quick Form as well as Harry and John on Daddy's Clackers, both of those teams had to go through the whole way from the quarterfinals into this round. And I think that was what kind of made them play such good Line Ball, was how they had to grow throughout the games. If you compare that to my team, Maximum Impact, our games, when we played, for example, in the seeding fixtures, Lineade, we beat them quite quickly, and because we kind of got through the group stage really fast, we didn't have time to really get into the flow on the table. We didn't have a chance to try things and test out different shots until we were already in our semi-final match, and that's where it really mattered. And these other teams had to work their way through, they had to build up, get more power plays, and they really earned their way into the final. So it was a big shock at the moment, but I think looking back at it now, it kind of makes sense as to why this happened this way. Next is the strongest power play. So the power plays were really a nice way to mix up the knockouts for this format. So let me know in the comments what you thought of the power plays, because they really did have a strong impact on the end of the game, especially when we had 6 all going on at the same time. It was mental. So the nominees are all 6 power plays: Silence, 2-Ball Jeopardy, Final Order, Freeze Protector, Black Hole Shapeshifter and Resurrection. Now, the one I voted for was Resurrection, but it wasn't the winner. The winner was 2-Ball Jeopardy, and if you remember, that was the rule where the white ball was also spotted into the score zone and you could hit it but your opponent couldn't. And I think people really liked it because it opened up a portion of the table that was available to you but wasn't available to your opposition players. So it was a really strong one. The only reason I thought Resurrection was a little bit of a stronger power play was just because of how it it stopped teams playing attack shots on you, and that ability to remove an element of your opponent's game I deemed really strong. But I can see why Two Ball Jeopardy won it, and the teams that got to use it actually managed to profit and benefit from it in a really good way. So I'm not surprised in a way that it's finished so high. I thought silence would get a few more votes though. The ability to silence a game losing mechanic is really, really strong. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for any future power plays that we can integrate into upcoming tournaments. Next, on to the best new player. Justin, Gemma, Paul and Harry are the nominees. These are the 4 people who have never been seen in a Lion Ball tournament setting before this game series, and the winner for the best new player was actually Harry Monday. So even though Paul Kidman won the best player, I can see why Harry's won best new player. This is because Harry was truly new to Lion Ball and he was learning on the go. Paul, we know, did a lot of preparation before the tournament, so despite the fact he was a new player, he felt like a bit more of an experienced one, whereas Harry was totally fresh. The only experience Harry had with Lion Ball was his commentary of the Power Play series with Brandon a few months back. So he really did need to learn as he was playing, and I think that's why he's won Best New Player. So well done, Harry. Well deserved. Next is on to the best attack player. Who were the most aggressive players playing those clutch shots that win you games? Our nominees are Kieran, Rohan, myself, Chris and Izzy. And this is a difficult one. There was so much good attack shot play in this tournament. It was really difficult for me to narrow it down to just 5. So let me know if I've missed someone off who may have deserved it as well. But the winners was actually joint, and it was joint between Kieran and myself. In a way, I'm not too surprised with 2 of the most attacking players in the tournament series. So well done to us. Also Rohan, almost making it up there as well. So really that team of total rubbish with Kieran and Rohan, they were a super strong attacking team. So really difficult to play against. If you gave them any sort of ability to knock your ball out of the score zone, they would always take it. So well done to all of us. Next is on to the best defensive player, and we're starting with the nominees of my teammates, and that's Monique and Justin. Then you've also got Harry, Paul and Gemma in there as well. Some people say defense shots win you games, others say attack shots do. I don't really know, but the defense really had an important impact, and I'd say players like Paul and Gemma played amazing defense, and they made all the way through to the final and then on to win it. So maybe defense truly does win you titles, and the best defense player is actually a 3-way tie between Monique, Justin and Paul. Nothing could separate my teammates as well as the best player of the tournament, Paul. So well done to all of them. Monique is now a staple as probably the strongest defensive Lion Ball player of all time, and her brother Justin also joining her as a defensive player. I know Justin did a lot of learning of Lion Ball through Monique's teaching, so I'm not really surprised that he has also become a really good defensive player. And Paul is also his style as well. He likes creative ways of defending, placing the ball in front of your opponents from unique angles. I'd say he was certainly a bit more creative, but I think Monique and Justin had really the strongest execution of the sort of core and simple, straightforward defensive shots. So it's really good that that has been shared. Also well done to Harry and Gemma as well for really good defense shots and getting their nominations too. Next is on to the one to watch. This is someone who we are excited to see at the next tournament, to see what they'll do, how they'll play, how they'll get involved. And we've got Justin, Alex, Ardit, Tom, Izzy and Gemma who are your nominees for this award. So a good range of the players. And the winner, the people who are most excited to see for the next tournament, is Ardit and Gemma. I think Ardit has so much potential in Lion Ball and a lot to prove, and this was a really weak tournament for him, so I know that he will be wanting to prove himself and come back stronger And we've seen in the past Ardit's also had some really good games. Between Ardit and Alex on Team Lionade, they haven't really had a good performance yet as a team, and they are two of the stronger line ball players, so they have a lot to prove, and I think that's why they've got the one to watch, because I think soon the duct is going to break and they will push through. Also, Gemma as well. I think she was a little bit in the shadow of Paul in this tournament because Paul is such a personality and had put so much research and time into building the strategy for these games. And I think Gemma just executed the plan so perfectly. And she wasn't really the star. She wasn't the upfront face of the team, but she kept things ticking along, and I think without her they wouldn't have won the tournament. So I'm not surprised she's also a one to watch, because it'll be exciting to see if she can forge more of her own identity away from Paul maybe on the line ball table, because she definitely deserves some of the spotlight on how well her and Chris played as well. I don't think Chris on the team can really be a one to watch anymore. Chris is one of the most decorated line ball players, so whereas the opposite with Gemma, she's so new and already had such a big impact on the sport. So I think she's got a very high ceiling and Gemma can keep going. So that's really great. Next is on to the best team name. We've got all of the nominees of all the different teams who played. The Red Hot Chili Potters, My Team Maximum Impact, Lineade, Quick Form, Total Rubbish, and Daddy's Clackers. Now, you'll know the identities of Red Hot Chili Potters, Maximum Impact, Lineade, and Daddy's Clackers because those four teams are staples of line ball. They've been around for a while. Quick Form is a new one. It's Paul's brand, and he has branded his team around that identity. And then Total Rubbish is actually a combination of Rohan's Total Drip brand and also Kieran's Rubbish Snooker brand. So they combined together, and I thought it'd be funny to call them Total Rubbish because initially they weren't going to be playing on the same team and they'd have their own brands being their own team, but when they came together it just made sense to combine the names. And so that one was my idea, and I also did vote for it, which is a little bit narcissistic, and it was also the winner. So I am very happy to see that the team name that I helped pick has gone on to win, but also well done to them. They pick the names of their brands, so this is why this has been able to happen. And what a great team Rohan and Kieran were. Also, big shout out to the Red Hot Chili Potters team, which obviously has Brandon in it. Brandon is sort of the main name associated with that team, so it's a great name. And even though it's one of the older line ball pool names now, it still always gets votes whenever we do a best team name, so well done to all. Next, we're moving on to players' moments of the tournament. I got a couple of the players to give me just little quotes about what their favourite parts were, and really it's the end of the semi-finals that's come up the strongest. Total Rubbish's elimination in the semis, the semi-final exits, Kieran's face when losing, obviously Paul and his creative shots also got a line as well, but 3 of the 4 quotes here are about the semi-final defeats, and just look at Kieran's face in this picture. This is the only time in this video that I've taken a screenshot from one of the games as an example, because just look at the reaction. He was distraught. Kieran had such a good tournament and then lost it in such unfortunate fashion to Quick Form. So I'm hoping to see Kieran bounce back. He is such a great line ball player. He may be the best line ball player who has never won anything. Either him or my dad John, they are probably 2 of the strongest players who've never lifted a line ball crown, and they've played in a couple tournaments now, so I feel really bad for Kieran. But it was an epic game, and the semi-finals with all the power plays, the strongest people in the tournament playing, it was probably some of the best line ball we've seen in a long time. And so I think this photo here kind of sums it up really. So thank you for watching. That is the video, and what an amazing tournament this was. Line Ball Level Up was a real step up for Line Ball in terms of the production value, the complexity, and just such a great range of games. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it, and I'm really excited to share very soon in a few weeks some of the new stuff we've got coming up. We've got so many new tournaments coming towards the end of the year and also through to next year. I'm always planning quite far ahead with Line Ball, so make sure you subscribe because there's so much content still to come. every single week we upload, and most of our main channel video uploads are now just the games. We have a couple of videos here and there that are a bit more sit down like this, these sort of update videos, but they're few and far between now. We're trying to make as much of the content you see on the channel to be actual games of Lion Ball. So if you have suggestions, leave them in the comments. We're always looking to take feedback as this community grows, and we will see you in the next video next Tuesday on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and support Lion Ball Pool below.